I see people are very hungry, I guess. Can everyone hear me? Okay, wonderful. Thank you, and thank you for joining me. And it's a pleasure being here. So I'm Pramod. I'm the co-founder of Futurely, which is a career counseling company based on artificial intelligence in the US and Italy. And recently I've migrated to India back home. And here we have started an open community for AI called as Fight Club, FAIGST, based in Triple IT, where we help the young business founders and students get started with AI and implement AI solutions within their ecosystems. Right now, we have trained over 800 companies, like early stage startups, on that, and our journey is going along. And also, we help any businesses with like providing AI solutions as well. Before that, I was heading the artificial intelligence for paid advertisements in Amazon US. So this is just a bit about my portfolio, and my experience with AI has been over 10 years right now. And today we'll talk a bit about what are the latest and innovative solutions out there for sustainability, and which are based out of artificial intelligence primarily. Are you ready to listen? How's the Josh? Again, how's the Josh? Do you want lunch? Just bear with me for 20 minutes. I promise you'll learn something fascinating for sure. All right, so we'll get started with the latest advancements right now. And so as you can see, the first slide, I have two different logos on purpose. There is a brain and there is a leaf, which exactly, I mean, in my personal opinion, that's how the sustainability and AI relate to each other. So both of them need to coexist at this point of time, and we'll see how they can coexist and what are the latest researches and how they are being applied in the local, like Telangana or India level. So moving on to the next slide. So there are multiple global challenges right now. And you might ask the question, why do I care? It's not related to me. Every global challenge has a local impact as well. So it impacts us. So starting with something as simple as, so right now the world is nearing a 1.5 degree centigrade temperature rise compared to the baseline pre-industrialization. Now you might ask me, why is this even important? It's just 1.5 degree rise. So this 1.5 degree rise is causing the glaciers to melt, is causing all the calamities that we are not predicting right now. So, and moving on, there is another part where there is a vulnerability in agriculture. You can see this particular chart where right now the land status, if you check the agricultural land status, 25% is stable, and 35% is at a moderate risk, but you can see 40% of the land is already climate stressed, where there is no proper yield and they don't know what to sow anymore because of the unpredictability in the climate, etc. And again, there is a pressure in urbanization. So too many people are moving to urban areas right now, which has its own potential challenges, the infrastructure challenges, and increasing resource demands within the urban cities right now, etc., etc. So these are all just to give you a picture of the challenges right now, and every challenge in itself will be at your doorstep either today or tomorrow. So now is the time to pay attention and leverage things at our arsenal to kind of get started with countering this kind of challenges with the help of technologies. So moving on to the next slide. So these are the solutions that we are going to touch upon today very quickly. Some of them are about the green AI. Green AI is about AI or technology which is greener in itself. So you might ask me, hey Pramod, you are saying that, okay, we'll leverage technology to solve the sustainability problems. But technology in itself needs hardware and in itself generates carbon footprint. So how are we going to counter that? So that way of reducing the footprints which is emitted by tech or AI is called as green AI. We'll just talk in brief about that. And the next one is about the climate resilience. And there are many AI-powered climate adaptation strategies and forecastings which are available right now. And precision agriculture has been touched upon by the sir before me, and it was very well talked about. So these are smart farming techniques with the help of IoT integration and environmental monitoring. So can anyone tell me an Indian organization that does environmental monitoring? Which Indian organization has satellites? Yeah, ISRO. So one of it is ISRO. So we already have environmental monitoring, and as Kishore sir just said, like we have visited them recently, and they have been upgrading their ecosystem to AI a lot as well. And there is a concept of smart urban systems where the cities are being designed in a smarter way, like where the traffic problem is a bit less and the infrastructure is much more organized, etc. So these are some of the solutions we'll briefly touch upon today. Moving on to the next slide. What is this picture? What does this picture represent? Tsunami? Yeah, this is the tsunami that occurred in Japan in 2011. And then it wiped out a lot of population over there as well. So it's just one way to say that the climate change is real, and then we need to be prepared, and we'll talk about how AI can. It is not about preventing this, it's about forecasting these and being prepared for this. So we'll see a bit about how AI will be able to help with these kind of situations, and in general about climatic situations as well. So the next slide, please. So these are the latest researches that have been happening within the climate ecosystem right now. And how many of you are familiar with LLMs? Just raise your hands. LLMs? AI models? Thank you. Rather, let me ask a different question. How many of you have used ChatGPT? Beautiful. Thank you. And ChatGPT in itself is powered by an LLM. So that is, LLM is the brain, I wouldn't say it's a brain, but it's the concept behind ChatGPT, which lets ChatGPT be ChatGPT. So we have many LLMs right now where we are able to develop a certain ChatGPT for climate. So think of it this way, where we have been developing foundational large language models or the machine learning models for climate predictions as well. And also we are able to generate multimodal, in the sense we are able to also forecast the critical events or the disastrous events that might occur at some point of time. There is different, there are n number of researchers going on right now, and this is actually powered by DeepMind. DeepMind is this brain of Google, which is the originator of the Google Health and all these things. So DeepMind is taking up the challenge of climate right now within Google, and they have been developing foundational models which can predict the weather up to 0.5 degree accuracy in urban areas is the metric that they are working towards, which is great actually, so that you can be better prepared, not for going out in rain or not, but as a city, as a government, you can be better prepared for any adverse events, etc., etc. And on top of that, we have generative AI applications right now, which will actually say you, one simple example is that based on the weather, there are applications which tell you which places to visit this weekend. So things are getting better and better in terms of the technology which is behind climate prediction and preparation. So what do we do with this? There are these LLMs or models that are able to give these insights. So as I said, one thing is we will be predicting these situations of adverse events or anything beforehand. So predicting is not just enough. So these are able to provide us decision support to be able to be prepared for those events. These models are advanced enough right now to say that, okay, we are predicting a tsunami in Chennai or whatever. So it is better to be prepared to migrate to another city. So this is the kind of assistance that we are talking about that is there with these models right now, and which is better for any government in their strategic planning, etc., etc. Does this make sense? Yes? All right. So this is about the climate, and just moving on to the next slide. So how do we use this locally? For example, we have the satellite-wide monitoring network right now, and we can integrate this with the existing weather stations, etc. As we discussed, we have ISRO, which has a lot of satellites, and then we have Telangana State Development Planning Society as well, which is able to modernize their infrastructure with AI capabilities. For example, they are able to support the weather forecast in multiple languages. It might sound smaller, but having the support through the local languages actually helps people trust AI or the technology behind it. If someone speaks in your native language and able to give the weather forecast in a language that is closer to you, it's kind of personal to you. And also, we'll be talking about the Urban Resilience Initiative as well later on, where we will talk about urbanization. So I'm just trying to say how the global research can be adapted locally to make our things get better. Moving on to the next slide. So this is a very good slide. I like this slide a lot because this actually portrays the current picture of agriculture within India. Right now, within India, traditional farming is around 20%. And the farming with a little tech support, at least the farmers or the farming there being familiarized with using mobile phones, etc., is around 45%. And the 35% population are already getting started. I wouldn't say they have perfected AI enhanced farming, are getting started with AI enhanced farming in multiple ways. Like in the sense, it's as simple as me asking, hey Siri, what is the time right now? It's as simple as like the farmer speaking in the native language to the AI application and asking questions, hey, this is the season, the crop is not working well, what should I do now? Is a question that the farmer is able to ask right now. So, which is beautiful in itself. And just moving on, we'll see a few examples within agriculture as well. Next slide, please. Can you zoom in a little bit? Are you able to see this last row? Last row, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up, beautiful. All right, so I'll speak about two different initiatives here. I mean, these are powered by Kisan AI. Has anyone heard of this startup? It's a startup like that originated in India by Dr. Pratik Desai. So he has developed, he has catered to the needs of Indian farmers and developed multiple systems to support farmers within India and has been able to expand globally as well. So as we discussed, one of the things that has been done is that support for farmers in the local language has been happening, where the farmer is able to ask questions and the large language models. So they have released large language models called as Denu, like 1.0, 2.0. See how intuitive the name is. Like the world right now uses a large language model named Denu across the globe. It's there in Brazil and everything. So it's a proud moment for India as well. And right now it already supports multiple farmers in India in helping them with understanding what's going on within their farm, which is a bigger question to the farmers. And at the same time, they also have a Kisan AI platform where they have the personalized crop recommendations based on the seasonality as well. So you just take a picture of the field right now. Just take a picture of the field and then give a season to it. That's all is needed. So then AI will be able to suggest to you things. Of course, you need to use it at the caution. The AI is not 100% accurate, so please pay attention there. So as AI capabilities rise, so this helps farmers more and more. Right now, they are able to offer multiple higher yield as well within their crops thanks to these initiatives. Can we move on to the next slide? Thank you. So another factor. So we've talked about climate and agriculture. So as part, within the same sequence, we'll speak a little about environmental stuff as well. So you are aware of the ISRO's Earth observation system satellites placed around Earth, which will help us with the weather predictions and multiple other things. And right now they are able to analyze pixels until 1 meter, which is a super good resolution for them to able to, like, I mean, calculate weather or even check the soil of any farm, etc. These images have been helping not just the population, like, to predict the weather, but in agriculture, etc. So, and also they have been, there are like multiple AI powered analysis right now, tools built just to predict the air quality index. So we are able to generate what is the pollution in the air right now, and this has existed forever, but the accuracy of how much like relevant the air pollution is and when is it gonna start affecting you is a real thing. I don't know how many of you have heard, but there is this popular influencer, Brian Johnson, visited India and then went back again, complaining about the air pollution within India. So it's actually real. It reduces lifespan, and things like this help us with the air pollution index and warn us if at all it is breaching a certain threshold. All of this possible through AI powered models right now. And within Telangana, I'm proud to announce one thing about the Telangana forest monitoring. AI has been actually deployed for the real-time monitoring of the forest area within Telangana as part of the Harita Haram program. So this actually tracks 20,000 acres of land within Telangana right now. And we are also using AI as a measure to improve the water resource management across different things right now. And people wanting to go to urban areas from rural areas, etc. Right now, this stage right now is very prevalent with not just in Telangana, across the entire globe. So we are able to track the impact of this through different like metrics that we have through different satellite monitorings, etc. All thanks to AI. So there is the smart urban concept, which we'll talk about in the next slide. Next slide, please. All right, so smart urban systems in action. And this is very important because urbanization is expected to reach around 68% by the end of 2030, which means more and more people will be moving to urban areas from rural areas, and the urban areas need to be prepared with it at the same time. Which actually, I want to talk about one initiative where Google has recently collaborated with TGICCC. How many of you know what TGICCC is? Telangana Command Control Center. So, can you move to the next slide once? I just wanted to. What is this picture? What does this picture say? Exactly. And next slide, please. So, just a week back on Feb 15th, there was a partnership between Google and TGICCC to incorporate the smart urban city concept in Hyderabad, which is a great thing. Just give a good round of applause for Hyderabad. So we have the traffic monitoring right now, but we don't have actions based on traffic monitoring. We don't know if someone crosses the lane. We don't know if some road is bad. We don't know XYZ. So we just have the plain monitoring sitting on there right now. With the help of Google's data storage capability through Google Cloud, and at the same time Google AI facilities through DeepMind, we are able to take it to the next level to better organize the city and also take traffic into control. So I am positive that this will lead to a better outcome for our city. And moving on. Next slide, please. So mostly people might have been familiar with this thing. So these are the national initiatives right now which offer funding and sustainability, of which sustainability is definitely a part of. So there is this India AI mission. Have you heard of it? India AI mission? Very few people. Nice. I see some hands at least. So there is this India AI mission, and then for which 10,000 crores have been allocated within the budget. And there is this digital agriculture program, innovation hub, and then the research grants These numbers are not in lakhs, by the way, these are in crores. Now, definitely, this is not 100% for sustainability, but sustainability is a higher priority item for the government as well for any of these initiatives. Next slide, please. So, quickly speaking about India AI Mission. So, this is a national program for accelerating the AI innovation across the country. And as we spoke, there is a very high budget for this right now. And this has partnership with multiple platforms as well. And at the same time, they have a target to establish around 100 or 200 AI labs across the country. So this is a huge push towards AI within sustainability too. And agriculture has its own mission called as Digital Agriculture Mission under PM Kisan program, where they have partnered with Microsoft to use their models, etc., and they offer their native platforms for farmers as well, such as AgriStack, etc., as well. And there is this centers of innovation for AI that have been established. Still, this is under progress. Do all these things, you again use a lot of data centers and hardware, but that is again a lot of badness to the environment. How do we prevent this? This initiative is called as Green AI, and through Green AI, it can't be 100 to 0 consumption. So we try to slowly reduce the digital footprints or the carbon footprints that we leave to come to a carbon neutral environment. So companies like Microsoft has pledged for carbon zero by 2050. So there have been initiatives which actually are moving towards releasing less carbon footprints through the data centers and everything. And there are different ways of getting those done using alternative sources of energy, and by using smaller models instead of the larger models which require less computational power. And can you move to the next slide, please? So these are the three ways that I was talking on how we actually use AI right now to make AI more efficient. So one is the model compression techniques, the second one, where we are moving from a world of large language models to small language models as well, which require less computational power and they can fit in your mobile device. So these models are good enough to fit in your mobile devices as well. And ultimately, this means that there are less resources needed to run these models. And we move to sustainable computing practices. And we have, as I said, Microsoft has this goal of moving to carbon zero by 2050. And Amazon is forced to have its own goal. So, which is actually good for the environment, where we will be using different sources to get the same outcome from AI. And moving on to the next slide. All right, so this is about today. And tomorrow there is still a lot of scope for where AI can help with sustainability. And within the sustainable AI infrastructure right now, there is the carbon neutral training that is going on across the globe with a target of at least reaching 75% carbon footprint. So this is happening in most of the MNCs right now. This is not carbon zero, but carbon neutral. They need to be able to emit the carbons that they just can counter with their spend, etc. And the climate intelligence systems can get more and more intelligent, which means there is a concept of digital twin climate system where they are able to simulate a world and then predict when exactly a natural calamity can happen. So using these advanced technologies, etc. And then the smart resource management, of course, like we talked about. And then there is this waste reduction techniques, etc. come under those. And foundational models for sustainability. So Google DeepMind is pioneering this effort, and there are multiple companies that are focused on sustainability to develop AI specifically for sustainability as well. And we spoke about green AI computing. This can get better and better, where we use renewable energy sources and then we switch to some sustainable hardware solutions as well. And Again, all this are for a better tomorrow. Right now, we are at a phase where we are getting started with AI in sustainability, and there is a very bright future for AI in sustainability again. So yeah, this is what we spoke about. Thank you.
Thank you, Pramod. A big round of clap to Pramod. Thank you very much. Let me request Ravi sir to please come on to the dais. Token of memory, felicitation to Mr. Pramod. Big round of clap.